Good morning and welcome to Centers for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore. My name is Frank Mastoris. I am the practitioner of the day. So, today's meditation is around water is life. And so often we forget to be grateful for what we have. So today we're going to go on a journey to be grateful, a journey of gratitude. So allow yourself to take a deep breath in and release. Take another deep breath in and release. Take a third deep breath in and release at your own pace. Allow yourself just to go inward to the place in your own body where you are the most comfortable. And from this space, allow yourself to visualize being on a beach. Walk up to the edge of the water, and if you feel so inclined, just gently step in so the waves are lapping on your feet. If not, that's okay too, wherever you're comfortable. Gently look out upon the water. And thank it. Just thank the water for being present, for taking care of you. whether it be in liquid form, vapor form such as steam, solid form such as ice. If you've stepped into the water, please step out of it. And now we're going to leave this beach and go to a lake with its light waves, gentle waves being moved by the wind. And if you feel so inclined, just allow yourself to put your toes in and your feet. And feel your oneness with this lake. Feel the gentle waves lapping upon your feet. Say thank you to it. Be grateful. It is part of the cycle of life that we come from. And when you are so inclined, please step away from the water. And now we're going to take the next part of our trip. And we're going to find ourselves near a river. If you feel so inclined, gently sit on the ground and allow your feet to be in the river. Feel the movement of the waves and the water as it moves on your feet. Acknowledge your oneness, the water. Just say thank you to it. It is part of the cycle of life that keeps all of us alive. and linger here a moment. And allow yourself to feel the water again. Allow yourself to step away from it now. And allow yourself to move with me next to the gentle pond. And if you feel so inclined, allow yourself to put your feet in it. Just feel the water. Just feel it on your feet. Just feel the gentleness of it, the wetness of it. If you feel inclined, flap your feet around in it. And just feel it. Just enjoy it. Just love it. And just allow yourself to say thank you. And if you feel so inclined, and please now step out of it. If you've allowed yourself to become one with it. And if you've allowed yourself to be one with it, just bring that feeling along with you. Now we're going to move to the trickling stream. Gentle little water moving over perhaps sand or rocks or dirt or ground, whatever. It moves so gently across the face of the planet, lovingly, gently, quietly. It gives water and gives itself to the plants, to the trees, to the animals who drink it, to us who get to drink it, as well as now, if you so choose, allow your toes and your feet to just be in the little bit of water. And allow yourself to feel the gentle flow over your feet. just feels good. And if you allow yourself to become one with it, that's even better. And just say thank you to it. Thank you, gentle stream. Thank you for helping the earth to bloom, the animals to be loved and honored and fed, us to be served by you. Thank you for so much of what you are and what you do. And come back to the space you were sitting. Back to the chair you were sitting. If you have a beverage in front of you, just look at it. Put your awareness on it and how it gratefully and lovingly nourishes and refreshes you. Because that beverage is made of water. Its main component, whether it's coffee or juice or some other beverage, is water. Just feel it going down your throat and your mind's eye. And allow yourself just to say thank you to it. Now, just expand your awareness to the water in your body. It's in our arteries and veins. It's one of the major components of blood. It's part of our lymph system, which removes wastes. It's part of every organ and every cell of our body. So just acknowledge it. Just say thank you. And in this moment, go deeper into the water and acknowledge the divinity of God within it. The divinity of God as it. The divinity of God in all substance of life. The inseparability of us from it. The joy of water. Always lapping and playing and having fun. As the joy of God is always in us, laughing and playing and having fun. Just feel that laughing and playing and having fun. The laughing and playing of God in you is fun. And just allow yourself to go back into complete awareness of your body. In the chair or seat or standing or wherever you were at the beginning of this meditation, just allow yourself to be there with the feeling of joy and laughter, play and fun, and most importantly, gratitude. For the very essence of God is water, for the form of water itself, and for the form of your body. And just give thanks. And so it is.
En tus ojos de agua infinita se bañan las estrellitas, mamá. En tus ojos de agua infinita se bañan las estrellitas, mamá. Agua de luz, agua de estrellas, Pachamama viene del cielo. Agua de luz, agua de estrellas, Pachamama viene del cielo. Limpia, limpia, limpia corazón, agua brillante, sana, sana, sana corazón, agua bendita, calma, calma, calma corazón, agua del cielo, mamá. En tus ojos de agua infinita se bañan las estrellitas, mamá. En tus ojos de agua infinita se bañan las estrellitas, mamá. Agua de luz, agua de estrellas, Pachamama viene del cielo. Agua de luz, agua de estrellas, Pachamama viene del cielo. Limpia, limpia, limpia corazón, agua brillante, sana, sana, sana corazón, agua bendita, calma, calma, calma corazón, agua del cielo, mamá. En tus ojos de agua infinita se bañan las estrellitas, mamá.
Good morning and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore's virtual service. I am your host, Tracy Rhymes. Our speaker is our spiritual director, Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson. Our musician is Sahffi Lynne. Serving as today's practitioner who led the pre-service meditation is Frank Mestoris. Assisting with making this service open, inviting, and accessible to the deaf community are our sign language interpreters, Faith Moore and Renuka Purimetla. On behalf of Reverend Dr. Ray, thank you for your service. At CSLGB, every Sunday is an invite a friend or family member Sunday. Make sure you spread the love and invite someone to service. We would love to have them hang out with us. Frank was raised Catholic. As he grew, he was more determined to find an experience of the divine or God. He felt this overriding desire to find God. He began to explore his own spirituality using prayer, meditation, the Bible, and the Rosary as a means of exploring his spirituality. He had this experience of feeling overwhelmingly connected to God and love. Though he did not realize it, he felt as if he was love itself. Frank has been involved with religious science since 1992. He traveled as part of his job and was able to see multiple versions of religious science churches throughout the country. He has been a practitioner for 8 years. He has felt this call for over 40 years to live and share a life of oneness with and as the divine expression of all of life. Frank's spiritual work is to always call others to their deeper awareness of the divine within, throughout, and about their lives. His spiritual work is to call all to the deep awareness of God as themselves.
Good morning again. And for those of you who are not here, welcome to Centers for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore. There's only one power, one presence, one life, one light. It is that which expresses through everything. Nothing is separated from it, but everything is from it. Everything expresses from it. Everything comes from it. Since we have no other term that really fits it, I call it God. You can call it whatever you want because it's there and it's going to be there and it's always there. But even that term is limiting for the unlimitable. It just limits our understanding and our awareness. So we move into oneness with the unlimitable presence of that divine essence of God that is everywhere present. We move into that awareness because we are never separated. We are always one. Always expressing from it, always living from it, always living from the life that is always given. It is God that animates my body. It is God that breathes through me. It is God that hears through me. It is God that speaks through me. For I am so inseparable from it that everything I am and do is from it. Today, as we move into this service, I know that everything is done in divine perfection. I am grateful for Reverend Ray for his fabulous sermon he's going to give today. I am grateful for Tracy for managing all the stuff that goes on that no one sees. I am grateful for Renuka, Ray, and Faith for their interpretation. I am grateful for Sahffi for her beloved message through the music. And I am grateful for God expressing through each and every one of us as we talk about the gift of the water of life. I am grateful. I am thankful. I am at peace. And I release this knowing that this service is perfect. The message is perfect. Everything that needs to be said is said. And so it is.
The Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore's community, honors the world's religions. One tree, many branches. One mountain, many paths. One world, many religions and spiritual traditions. With the lighting of these candles on the first Sunday of each month, we not only honor each person on their select path, but we also bless them and recognize the light, the love, and the life-affirming nature of spirit as it shows itself in each path, in each practice, and in each person.
My fault. My fault. My fault. Okay. Study, learn, and grow with Science of Mind and Spirit and the Thursday night study group. Visit cslgreaterbaltimore.org to learn how to participate, visit cslgreaterbaltimore.org to learn how to participate, enroll in the discovery class, and know what Reverend Dr. Ray is teaching in the larger CSL community and beyond. The Professional Practitioners course is a walking the walk practice, which will be facilitated by Reverend Dr. Ray and licensed practitioner of distinction, Eugene Holden. This 4-week course is for licensed practitioners. For those who desire to establish and or expand their professional practices with clients and those who desire to deepen their personal practice. For more information, email Rev Ray or Eugene or visit our website. The CSL Summer Movie Series has 11 movie lovers, speakers, and teachers who will present their interpretation of the spiritual message within a film they choose. Come with questions and curiosity. It will be a fun, insightful time for those who love movies and for those who want to understand a deeper spirituality alive in cinema. Proceeds benefit CSL's Camp Cedar Ridge. In honor of International Day of Peace, the Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore is hosting a World Peace Party and you are invited to participate. On September 17th, noon to 7 p.m., with a rain date of September the 24th at Ruscombe Mansion Community Health Center in Baltimore, Maryland. For more information, contact Dana Cole or Nancy Rosenberg. For a full list of news and events and ways you can volunteer to serve, go to our website, cslgreaterbaltimore.com/events. To receive a daily text and voicemail from Reverend Dr. Ray, type JOIN to 833-663-9021 to begin receiving your daily inspiration. Here at CSLGB, we live as answered prayer because prayer works. We, as a community, continue to treat and move our feet, knowing the truth for everyone around the planet. Prayer requests can be sent at any time, via email to info@cslgreaterbaltimore.org. Sahffi Lynne is an international singer, songwriter, and vocal coach whose mission is to offer her music and teachings as medicine to open and connect our collective heart. Her spirit-inspired performances and channeled original songs have taken her melodies around the world, and her own vocal ladder method of teaching, singing has lifted her students' voices and souls. Sign up for monthly emails from Sahffi on her website, sahffi.com, or subscribe to her YouTube channel for weekly new videos. Just search Sahffi. Sahffi's new album, Pulse Evolution, is out. Visit sahffi.bandcamp.com. Take it away, Sahffi. Cha-cha-cha.
Cha-cha indeed. Thank you, Tracy. Good morning, Renuka. Your translations are beautiful. Thank you. All right, everyone. This is a call and response song. So I'll sing it, and then you sing it with me the second time. You'll get it. The river is flowing, flowing and growing. The river is flowing down to the sea. The river is flowing, flowing and growing. The river is flowing down to the sea. Father, carry me, your child I will always be. Father, carry me down to the sea. Father, carry me, your child I will always be. Father, carry me down to the sea. The river is flowing, flowing and growing. The river is flowing down to the sea. The river is flowing, flowing and growing. The river is flowing down to the sea. Mother, carry me, your child I will always be. Mother, carry me down to the sea. Mother, carry me, your child I will always be. Mother, carry sea. The river is flowing, flowing and growing. The river is flowing down to the sea. The river is flowing, flowing and growing. The river is flowing down to the sea.
Thank you, Sahffi. Frank returns to lead us in a spiritual practice.
Our spiritual practice is a reflection poem, something for us to reflect on. It's called Water is Life. Without drinking water, no one can live. Water security is the best gift anyone can give. Wasting our water harms every son and daughter, because that water is life. Acidifying oceans make species die. 6 million more bits of plastic every time 5 days go by. Roughly 90% of the big fish are absent, but our oceans are life. It's not nice when corporations set the price. Water grows the world's crops. We must think about the water we drink before it stops. We can use it more sustainably, and preserving it is clearly good for you and me. No more pipes needed. Water protectors be heated. Protect the water of life, of life, of life. And so it is.
And so it is. Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson is an ordained Centers for Spiritual Living minister serving the Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore community as our spiritual director. As a lifelong learner with a passion for self-development, personal transformation, transmutation, and transfiguration, he has frequently been referred to as a Renaissance man and visionary New Thought leader who makes complex metaphysical concepts readily understandable and applicable. His mission is to live, move, and be an active member of society who serves to educate, elucidate, and emancipate people and communities to awaken and empower themselves. ACTIVE is an acronym that stands for authentic, compassionate, transparent, inspired, vibrant, and empowered. And he continues to live his bliss as a teacher, minister, author, workshop and seminar facilitator, visual artist, ASL interpreter, and ASL performing artist, mentor, father, grandfather, and more. I give you Reverend Dr. Ray.
Namaste and greetings, everyone. Prayerfully, everyone is well today.
So here we are, week number 2 in this consciousness of living everyday wonder in, as, around nature. Specifically today, as you've already heard, we're talking about water, good old H2O, and all of the ways that it shows up. And I'd like to invite you, if you haven't seen the video that came out in the newsletter or was shared on social media about what if God were water or water was God, check it out. It's very interesting. So this concept of water is life is a very multi-layered concept. It's a very multi-layered consciousness. We talk about the water and all of the ways that it shows up on Earth, and all of the things that we do with water, all of the things that we do in water. So many, many, many ways that water affects our lives. And yet very few of us really take the time to appreciate it and to recognize it for what it actually is. So let's dive on in. You see the earth and you see how much of it is covered in water. And then there's clearly all of the water that, when Frank was doing the meditation, he mentioned water in solid form, ice, snow. So we look at this and we see all of the blue and water, 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 water. But we don't see the individual lakes and the rivers, and we don't see the polar ice caps. And, we may see some of it, but there are other aspects that we don't see. Like there's water, and we don't see the depths of, and water, so much. And yet, once again, do we appreciate it? Now, you go to the beach. Yeah, you might appreciate it when you go to the beach. You flush the toilet and you might appreciate it when it flushes, because when it doesn't, you're like, oh man. So there are certain times that, yes, we appreciate it. But if we really appreciated it, then one of the ways that we would do so is through this act of self-care, that we would make sure that our body temple stays hydrated. And many of us don't do that. Why not? I mean, staying hydrated does a great many things, removes toxins from your system. It keeps your joints flexible and greased, cleans your skin, boosts your brain function, and more and more. And yet we do not drink enough water to stay hydrated. Why not? If water is God, and through the act of imbibing water, we are nourishing this body temple, which is God, then why would we deny ourselves the opportunity to engage in that spiritual practice? Water, water everywhere, nor not a drop to drink. See, when we don't have water to drink, and for a variety of reasons, there are drought, the well has run dry, etc., etc. The water is contaminated, etc., etc. Then we suffer, and we recognize the suffering. There's no water. My body aches, and then we complain. And yet, when it's there, and there isn't an apparent issue with it, then our privilege kicks in and we take it for granted. Is that the consciousness that we want to be steeped in? Think about that. According to Oasis Hospice's website, how long can a normal person survive without water? Depends on the person and a couple other factors, but on an average, 3 days. How long can the average person survive now without food or water? Depends, but 8 to 21 days-ish. Water is far more important to the human body than food. Did you hear what I said? Water, we can go 3 days. Food, it stretches. We can go a little bit longer without food, but not without water. And yet, once again, we purposefully dehydrate ourselves because we refuse to engage in imbibing the life force of God as water. And how many of us, because if we're talking about spiritual activism and spiritual responsibility and accountability, then our spiritual imperative isn't just about drinking our water, bathing in our water, and showering in our water. It's also being accountable for the global water crisis. And according to the United Nations, every year there are more deaths caused by polluted water than any type of violence combined, including war. Pause, breathe. Polluted water is killing more people than all sorts and forms of violence, including war, on planet Earth right now. Breathe and take this in. Polluted water. Water that people are drinking, bathing in. Water that children are drinking, brushing their teeth with. What is your spiritual imperative calling you to do with such things as Flint, Michigan? In 2014, this was the condition of their water for approximately 2,112 days. What did we as a spiritual community of New Thought, what did we have to say about this? What did we do about this? Who did we contact about this? And even now, how many of us are spiritually responsible to know what's going on there now? See, when the well has run dry for us, then we're up in arms. When the wells run dry, according to Benjamin Franklin, we know the worth of water. When my water is polluted or my pipes are clogged up, then I know the worth of water. But it's your water, your house, your consciousness. Do your work. Is that the consciousness that we are anchored in? If you want clean water, then you should do something. That's not mine to do. Like Cain and Abel, am I my brother's keeper? Am I the one responsible for making sure that my brother has clean water? Yes. And make sure that your sister has clean water? Yes. And make sure that your gender non-conforming sibling, your gender fluid sibling, your gender rich sibling has clean water? Yes, it is your responsibility because you are the divine. And your word matters. Your consciousness matters. Your creative process matters. There's not a spot where God is not. So if you are anchored in, if I am anchored in a consciousness of apathy and I don't care, or that's not my problem, then I am adding to the global consciousness of mental pollution that is showing up as water pollution and air pollution, etc., etc. So if we are truly going to be excellent stewards of this thing called earth, excellent stewards of our body temple, excellent stewards of life, then we are called to recognize water is life and stand up with our indigenous siblings and recognize that we are called spiritually. Like the Good Samaritan, we are called to be spiritually active, to treat and move our feet. Now, each one of us has to figure out what that movement is, and yet we are called to protect. We are called to stand in solidarity. We are called to pray of one accord. We are called into this greater, more expansive recognition that we are not alone. So are you a water protector? Are you standing in solidarity with those who are? Are you recognizing beyond just prayer, beyond just meditation, beyond just chanting? Are you actively engaged in changing the old paradigm, the old consciousness of colonization, of lack, scarcity, and separation, of it's just about me, selfishness, and egoic nonsense, to a world that works for all? Are you doing that work of building, dissolving this, decolonizing this, and building this new consciousness of a world that truly works for all? W.H. Auden says, thousands, which I would say millions, have lived without love, but not one without water. There are a lot of us who can trace our lives and recognize times where we were not loved. Many of us don't love ourselves, so we may be included in this. Many have lived without love, but none without water. Water is life. Now, this world that works for all solves both of these because it brings love into the mix and it ensures clean and effective water is in the mix. Breathe and allow yourself to anchor and ground and come back and say, are you really? Are you ready for water equity and justice? Really? Are you ready to recognize water and life is a human right? Are you? Really? Are you standing in solidarity and recognizing that there is work to do and doing the work? Really? Because it's easy to talk. It's easy to give lip service. You know, it's easy to do that. But to actually stand up and speak out, to let your voice, your prayers, not just be heard, but to be seen in the manner in which you live. What did Tracy say? Not only do we live in answered prayer, we live as answered prayer. That means when we show up on the scene, the very fact that we are there and how we are there is answered prayer, is the catalyst for answered prayer, is the movement of the vision in that space. Are you? No, really. Are you? Are you willing to step into that at a greater degree? Emerson says, everything in nature contains all the powers of nature. Everything is made of one hidden stuff. Everything within the one mind contains all the powers of the one mind. For that which is the one mind, this hidden stuff of creation moves in, through, and around everything and everyone. There's not a spot where God is not. Do we honor that? Do we acknowledge that? Do we recognize that and appreciate it and celebrate it? Herman Hesse says, they both listened silently to the water, which to them was not just water, but the voice of life, the voice of being, the voice of perpetual, eternal becoming. See, to the one, what did we talk about last week? About the one who is skilled in the communication of nature, well-versed in the sacred scripture of nature. To that person who knows the language, all things communicate. The rocks speak. The trees, the breeze speak. All of earth. If God is all there is, then why wouldn't the grass have the voice of God? Why wouldn't the hummingbird have the voice of God? Why wouldn't water have the voice of God? Are you listening? Do you hear the voice of life in water? Do you hear the voice of being in water? Do you hear the voice of perpetual becoming with each sip and each time you bathe and each moment that it rains? Mother Earth is not a resource. Mother Earth is an heirloom. David Ipina from the Yurok tribe. Mother Earth is not a resource. It is not something to be pillaged and raped. Mother Earth is an heirloom to be handed down through generations that our great, 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 great grandchildren still have blue skies and clean water and green grass to touch their bare feet. An heirloom. We inherited it. Are we tending to it in order to hand it down in the same shape that it was handed to us, or in better shape? Winona LaDuke says, water is life. We are the people who live by the water, pray by these waters, travel by the waters, eat and drink from these waters. We are related to those who live in the waters. To poison the waters is to show disrespect, which I add and say, to poison the waters is to be blasphemy for creation. To dishonor and protect, to honor and to protect the water is our responsibility as the people of the land. It is our responsibility. And for those who recognize God is all there is, then do we not have an even greater spiritual responsibility to honor and protect, a greater spiritual accountability to honor and respect land, sea, and air, and all that exists within? Breathe. John Muir says, when we contemplate the whole globe as one great dewdrop, striped and dotted with continents and islands, flying through space with other stars, all singing and shining together as one, the whole universe appears as an infinite storm of beauty. Are we willing to participate in this great, glorious, and grand form of divine creation, and not simply be those who recognize it as a resource to be used up, balled up, and thrown away? Not my problem. That's their problem. Breathe. Lucy Larcombe says, a drop of water, if it could write its own history, would explain the universe to us. Well, wait a minute. But what if it's not if it could write? A drop of water in writing its own history right now explains the universe to us in every drop. Are we reading? Are we listening? Are we appreciating? Bruce Lee advises us to be like water, to flow, to be open at the top, to become that which is the shape of the divine, to mold and conform to the infinite oneness of creation, love, flow, peace, flow, love and harmony, beauty and joy flow, gratitude flow, be like water. Whereas we are told in many Buddhist traditions, the mind is like water, and when it is turbulent and thrashing about, it is difficult to see through it. Yet when it is calm, everything becomes clear. Be like water. All water is holy water. Rajiv Joseph reminds us all water is holy water, not just the water that some priest or nun or someone has blessed. All water is holy water. Do you brush your teeth? Do you use water? It's holy water. Do you use the bathroom, the toilet? Do you flush? All water is holy water. Do you bathe? Do you shower? Do you wash your face? All water is holy water. Do you make coffee or tea? All water is holy water. All water is holy water. Do you respect it as such? Ernest Holmes tells us, it seems as though everything in life is meant to circulate. And the moment we stop the circulation, that very act stagnates what would have moved freely. Stagnant water was once flowing water that became sidetracked from its own flow. And that which was perfect, clean, and pure became impure. It is just the same with our mind. Remember that turbulent water, that thrashing about? It is the same with our mind and our emotions. Be like water. Do we conform to the container of hate? Do we conform to the container of separate, isolated, lack and scarcity? Be like water. It is just the same as with our mind and our emotions. There is a pressure against us for self-expression, and when it is expressed, our life flows happily, joyfully, naturally. But when we tend to hinder it or allow it to be hindered, there is stagnation. The creative impulse must create something, or we are unhappy. Now pause and recognize that because the creative impulse must create something, that creation can be racism. For racism was created, sexism was created. The creative impulse must create something. Right now, we are invited to make sure that that something that is created is joy, connectivity, peace, unity, love, reverence for this holy water, reverence for each individualized expression of the one. Today, let us anchor and ground, recognizing that the creative impulse is living, moving, and active in our minds and our emotions and our words and the manner in which we move our feet, the manner in which we act. Breathe. This week's practice. 1, research and educate yourself about the current water crisis wherever around the world there is a crisis, and ask, what can I do to be a defender of water? 2, watch the video, as I mentioned before, that was shared in the newsletter and shared here on Facebook, and watch the video. And then journal about what you thought and felt after listening. And if you need the link, feel free to email Tracy or I. What if water was God? It's on TikTok. Journal about it. What did you feel? What did you think as you listened to him say these words? And then lastly, have a conversation with 2 people about some of the spiritual symbolism of water. Also, read and discuss the video, or this article, 30 Days of Love, Hate, and Indifference, the Rice and Water Experiment. There were jars of water and rice where this mother and daughter sent the energy of love to one jar, and they observed what happened. Hate and indifference to the other jars, and they noticed 3 jars, same rice, same water, and in 30 days, 3 different manifestations showed up. Read it and discuss it with whoever it is your other 2 people are. And then the works of Masaru Emoto. Watch this video. It's an interview with him. What is the impact of this idea of water? And watch the other video where he talks about water and consciousness and how consciousness affects the water. And remember that we are a great majority of water, and we drink water and we use water. We live around water. We could not live without it. And yet consciousness affects water. Breathe. This week's affirmation, our declaration, I will say it first. And if you feel in alignment with it, then say it with me the second time. I am grateful for the waters of life that sustain me. Together. I am grateful for the waters of life that sustain me. Breathe. Breathe and allow that gratitude to overflow. Breathe and allow that gratitude to overflow as we avail our hearts to our beautiful, our wonderful, and amazing divine sibling, Sahffi, as she brings this gift of awareness, this gift of exploration. See, one of the reasons, before Sahffi comes on, see, one of the things that I love and appreciate about Sahffi is Sahffi does the work. See, Sahffi was around some indigenous folks who felt the vibration and quality of her music and invited her to travel to their homes. See, Sahffi was at the gas station and some guy made a comment, and Sahffi, in her introspective wisdom, in that introspective wisdom, paused and said, "What is that about? What is the message? What is the lesson?" And see, from this divine awareness, that's where Sahffi's music comes from. That divine place of the holy, that divine place of the sacred. So every note, every drum beat, every breath of air, Sahffi graces and blesses us with that same love, nurturing, support, and wisdom. So put your hands together, open your hearts, and let us express our gratitude. Love and blessing, Sahffi. Thank you.
Ouch, 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 Reverend Dr. Ray. Thank you so much. Wow. Yes, I was sitting with the Huni Quinn, the son of the chief and his cousin this weekend, and they have to travel 3 days on the Amazon to get to their home in the heart of the Amazon jungle. To get to us, they traveled 3 days, take another day of car, plane. It was such an amazing honor to sit with them, receive their medicine, and also, yes, get that really beautiful reflection from them. And they were here for cultural exchange, to teach us about them, but also for water. They're trying to, build the infrastructure for safe water. So this is very timely, beautiful. Thank you so much. This is a song by Aisha Badru. And though I look just like my father, my roots, they extend much further. We must respect each other, for we depend on one another. And if we don't form a band of brothers, our strength will remain uncovered. We are the echoes of those before us, and all our stories, they form a chorus. Our stage is the earth below us. If we destroy her, then she can't hold us. So let us travel into the forest to see without it there is no us. Become protectors of the waters, for they will nourish our children and elders. Oh, 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 oh,
Once again, put your hands together. Let that heartbeat be felt. Let it clap. Amen. Amen. Thank you, Sahffi. Yes. Amen. Amen. And so it is. Aho. So we breathe, still letting that vibration that Sahffi blessed us with, feeling it, letting it run over us. Recognizing that the vibration that she just shared, like Dr. Emoto talks about consciousness and vibration, that energy changes the water. So recognize that that part of our body temple that is water is right now vibrating and transformed as a result of what Sahffi just graced us with. And so we take that energy and that consciousness and that love, and we move into this aspect of service where we recognize the law of infinite circulation, the law of prosperity and wealth, the law of what it means to sow into your beloved community, what it means to support your community's vision, mission, and purpose so that CSL Greater Baltimore can continue to do what it's doing and even greater as part of the process of creating a world that works for all. Now, one of the ways that we're doing that is, as we know, our practitioners of distinction, on top of their regular monthly tithes, have also pledged $50,000 by the end of the year. And as of the beginning of the month, that number is $17,760. The community's matching pledge, also as of the beginning of the month, and also as part of their, or on top of their regularly scheduled tithes and offerings, that number is $4,350. Now, how do you support both the business aspect of the community, the getting of our new Right and Perfect building, creating classes, education, community outreach, and more, while also tithing, sowing where you are spiritually fed? PayPal is an option. Givelify is an option. Unless you're like Tracy and like, I don't want to put another app on my phone. Givelify is an option. Text message, she's laughing at me. Text messaging is an option. And the postal mail service is an option. So know that you have options of ways that you can do this. If you ever have questions about any of these, questions about how to divide a portion of your tithes, how to donate specifically to the new building fund, or to the practitioner corps, or to music ministry, or anything, feel free to reach out to our amazing treasurer, Sue Monahan. You can also go to the website, cslgreaterbaltimore.com/give. Here at CSL Greater Baltimore, when we declare financial wealth and abundance, we are declaring not only financial wealth and abundance, but that our relationships are wealthy and prosperous and abundant and opulent with love and joy, togetherness, that our body temples are healthy and well and prospering of that health and well-being, that our minds and our emotions, that our spiritual lives, we are declaring financial wealth, physical wealth, emotional, relational, intellectual, like we're declaring wealth, prosperity, abundance, and opulence in all areas of our lives in ways that are divine and life affirming. And so if that is in alignment with you, then let us declare together. I joyfully, consciously, and gratefully participate in the law of circulation. I trust in the spiritual principle that says, as I sow into my beloved community, I demonstrate my awareness of standing not only in the flow, but as the flow itself. As I sow of myself, my time, my treasure, my talent, I demonstrate my support and engagement in my community's vision, mission, and purpose. I actively give as a demonstration of manifesting, of reaping the harvest of a world that works for all. Breathe, and so it is. Thank you, you're awesome. Thank you, you're beautiful. Thank you, you are God. Thank you. Thank you for choosing this beloved community to be a part of. If this is your first time, we know it won't be your last. Thank you for being a guest. Thank you for sharing the link and information with your friends and family so that this community can be steeped in. And pause. We recognize that because we are also a virtual community, that CSL Greater Baltimore reaches beyond just the boundaries of the state of Maryland, that we have people tuning in as far as California and England and wherever else in the world. So when you share and speak about this beloved community, then we are enveloping the planet in the consciousness of what science of mind and spirit teaches. We are sharing what it means to be one planet, one beloved family, and one divine expression of love. So thank you. Now, today after service, because we're getting ready to end, did you know you can go to the Zoom room for today's practitioner on duty, the fabulous Frank Mastoris, to pray and steep you in the consciousness of whatever it is that you desire to experience. Frank will know the truth of, for, and about you. So when you get there, simply type the word prayer in the chat box and Tracy will put you in a breakout room with Frank. a breakout room that is a holy space. Oh, sorry, Tracy. So, and otherwise, if you just want to join us for, fellowship and laughter and all that good stuff, then join us over there as well. Now, we recognize that while this thing called our Sunday celebration, our Sunday service, our Sunday gathering is coming to a close, the way in which we serve humanity continues. The way in which we walk the walk continues. The way in which we talk the talk continues. Long after this moment of time has yielded and become that next great, grand, and glorious now moment. So the ways in which God forever, as you, acts upon itself, serves itself, loves itself out in the world, that continues forever. So we breathe in gratitude, recognizing that it is a great, a glorious, a beautiful moment, and what an amazing time to be alive. For we are called for such a time as this. It is good because it's God. The law says yes, which means it's answered prayer. And so it is. Namaste, blessings and love. See you over there. And if you're available this afternoon, if you're on the East Coast, it's at 1 o'clock. I will be speaking at Paradise CSL. See you soon. See you there. Much love.